Greetings, good people of the city of Harvey. This is Chris Moore at Harvey Illinois Voters Bloc, and we are here today with Albert Abney, one of Harvey Illinois' very own. We're here today at Studio 155 here in Harvey, Illinois, and we are speaking with Mr. Abney, who is a candidate for the District 510 South Suburban College Board Trustee. And we have some questions here for him today concerning that election and why it's important to the people of the city of Harvey, to all the South Suburban communities, over 20 different communities. So we're going to be asking Mr. Abney some questions, and I'm going to allow him to introduce himself to you guys. I'm Chris Moore, Harvey Illinois Voters Bloc, and I'm here with Mr. Albert Abney.
Hello. First, I would like to thank Studio 155, Mr. Amir. This is a hidden gem in the city of Harvey. I lived in Harvey my whole life. I did not know that this studio existed, and this is amazing. And I can't really get into the logistics and all the technical things that's going on right now, but I feel like I'm on Channel 32 News right now, and it is good to see our own doing well. And it's gifts in Harvey, and Mr. Amir 155, they have a gift. So, if you need anything done as far as interviews, recordings, or whatever, you need to look up, Studio 155, Mr. Amir, and you need to come pay him a visit. But my name is Albert Abney, born and raised in the city of Harvey. I was blessed with a strong family and a good foundation. I went to church in Harvey, a couple of doors down from my house, South Suburban Missionary Baptist Church. I went to grade school in Harvey. I actually went to Catholic grade school, which the name of it is Mary of Nazareth. It's been gone maybe about 15, 16 years. And then after that, I went to Thornton Township High School. I eventually found my way to the military, and during the course of my military travels, I would have commanding officers. I was in the Navy, commanding officers, and my master chief, they always say, go to college, because going to college on our fit reps, going toward advancement, if you were enrolled in college, you'll get extra points. So all the years I spent in the military, I, stayed in college courses, different community colleges along the way, with my deployments or whatever. And, I ended up, I have an associate's degree in arts and sciences from Triton University. I have a bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies from Governor State University. And I have a master's degree, master's in health sciences with a focus in addiction studies and counseling from Governor State University.
Thank you, and I want to thank you for your service and also your level of dedication here in the city of Harvey. So that's why we're here. We're going to talk to the people of the city of Harvey about why this election is important, why what it concerns to the people of the city of Harvey by supporting you in this election, because a lot of people in the city of Harvey never even knew the South Suburban College had a board. Mm-hmm. So I want to get right into it, good people of the city of Harvey. We're going to be asking Mr. Albert Abney some questions. As always, you be the judge, and we're going to let what he tells us and answer these questions to sizzle in you guys' spirit. So Mr. Abney, how many students of District 205 have actually received a scholarship from South Suburban College?
Well, actually, Chris, when we're talking about scholarships from South Suburban College, first, when you finish high school you have your parents and you got to fill out a FAFSA, right? So it's based upon your parents' income. If you got income, they ask for your tax returns your taxes for like the last year. So a lot of people get a Pell Grant. They get a Pell Grant, and you get a Pell Grant with your financial aid package, and if you apply certain scholarships that they have at South Suburban College, for example, if you finished in the top of the class and your GPA meets, they have a lot of scholarships and things available, to actually pay for education. But the exact amount of number that ended up from 205, I don't have that information with me right now.
Copy that. So there's no kids that you personally know from the city of Harvey, out of all of the families that you know. There's no one kid that you know that has received any scholarship for South Suburban College. Has any kid in the city of Harvey? It's a lot of cities that South Suburban College covers, but we are focused here on the city of Harvey, your hometown.
Yes.
And we will be viewed first by the people of the city of Harvey. This interview, is it any one kid that you know has benefited from South Suburban College as they collect over $10 million in property taxes from all of the South Suburban communities, and a great amount of tax dollars are taken from the people of the city of Harvey? How does it benefit them and their children?
Well, I don't want to get ahead in the questions. Like, I have a whole layout that I'm going to explain to you and to the great people of the city of Harvey about my plan and my vision for the South Suburban College. But me naming one child that I know that got a scholarship, no.
You can't name.
I mean, I know many children that go to South Suburban College, but I don't know specifically how they're directly paying for their education.
Copy that.
But I know they have, they got the Pell Grant. Is when we get to education financing, I have something major to discuss with all the residents of the city of Harvey and all the 19 other communities that's a part of the district.
Copy that. What is the budget for the college, if you know?
Well, the budget for the college operating, when I was looking at my tax bill, it's $25 million.
$25 million. Very well. What are the boundaries and how many municipalities does the college service?
Well, the college service 19 municipalities. I can name them. I have it ready. Give me 1 second. We got Lansing, South Holland, Riverdale, Dalton, Burnham, Oak Forest, Tinley Park, Linwood, Calumet City, Polson, Dixmoor, Country Club Hills, Thornton, Hazelcrest, East Hazelcrest, Harvey, Midlothian, Phoenix, and Markham.
Phoenix and Markham. So, that's a lot. That is a lot of communities. And
yes, it is.
You did mention Burnham and Riverdale as well. So, what ranking does the college have in junior colleges in the state of Illinois academically?
Well, academically, South Suburban College is actually doing well.
What ranking are they?
The exact number, the exact rank, right off the top, I don't have that information. But it's one of the top tier colleges to go to in the South Suburban area. I mean, South Suburban College, listen, is a great school. All right, you could go there and get a great education, but the purpose of the community college is to educate the community. We're talking about more than math, science, and reading. We're talking about more than that.
Are you running with somebody on this college election or on for the board as a team, or are you running independently?
Well, I'm collectively share the vision of a few individuals. Make sure you vote for Albert Abney and make sure you vote for Max Solomon for College Board 510. But see, changing the direction of education is more than just about what happens at South Suburban College. We need to think deeper than that. Even before they walk through the college doors, we need to talk about their elementary education. We need to talk about K through 8. We need to talk about what's being taught in the high schools. All of these things are connected to each other. Somebody just can't walk into the college and say, it's time for my education. That education, it began at birth. And in America, in our community, we pay tax dollars to get a quality education, and we should get that. It should be there for us on all levels.
Speaking of all levels, it's been stated that you have aligned yourself with a school board candidate from the Harvey First ticket, KP 2021, Keith Price. During this election. Why did you choose KP to align yourself with during this election?
Well, it's not only Keith Price for school board 152. I am fully supporting Keisha McCaskill, Dr. Keisha McCaskill. I'm supporting Felicia Powell Johnson. I'm supporting Chappelle Hooks, and I'm supporting Keith Price. Now, Keith Price is set on a lot of boards. He brings wealth of information about how government works. And he's has family, and his children went to 152. And so as a parent, as a taxpayer, he understands what needs to happen as far as 152. And that's why I support Keith Price. That's why I support Dr. Keisha McCaskill. That's why I support Chappelle Hooks. She has students that's at 152, and as a parent, she understands, this education system. So, and I support Felicia Johnson.
Copy that. And these are the people that Albert Abney supports, good people of the city of Harvey, and you be the judge and of that endorsement coming from Albert Abney. So, Mr. Abney, what type of relationship do you have with the incumbents that you are running against on that board, Janet Rogers and John Daly, who are currently up for re-election for this term?
Well, as you know, Janet Rogers is a proud resident of the city of Harvey. And, John Daly, I've seen him in passing. And what I feel, when somebody gets into politics and they decide to run for political office, if it's an incumbent, they don't own that seat. It's the people's seat. So I'm not running against Janet Rogers or against John Daly. I'm running for the seat. And like you said, we're going to let the people judge. I mean, if you always do what you done, you always get what you got. So, I mean, eventually it's time to pass the torch. Eventually.
At one point of time, did Janet Rogers, did she invite you to run on the board with her in some capacity for the college board or the school board at any other time in history?
Yes. Janet Rogers actually endorsed me when I was running with her. When I was running for school board 152 in 2017.
Copy that. Did you decide to run with her, or you declined?
No, I ran with her. She called me, asked me to run.
And how did that work out? Did you get elected?
It worked out well. I got a lot of votes, but the other people got more votes than me. So I put out the ideas that I thought, and the people decided. And I respect the people's decision.
Copy that. How do you plan on funding a campaign as large as South Suburban College for a seat that pays $0?
$0. It all starts here. Starts with this interview. Starts with me and you, word of mouth. There's a guy out there named Albert Abney. He got some good ideas. So, and with an area this big, we will get necessarily things that we don't want if we always rolling with the people who got the biggest yard signs or who send the most mailers out. This is about public service, and I have served my country and I have served my community my whole adult life. And as you said, the seat is unpaid, and it's these boards throughout our political system that really has a lot of control over the education that we receive. This is very, very, very important.
The education that we are receiving, the children of District 152, 205, and also the West Harvey Dixmoor district, is how do you personally judge that education that's being rendered on a scale of 1 to 10? How much education, how much critique is being put into our children here in Harvey, Illinois, in District 152 and 205?
Years ago, they had, legislation that was called No Child Left Behind. And unfortunately, in the community that I see and the kids that I know, it left a lot of them behind. And, we're passing and graduating people who, can't read or can't write. And eventually, that's going to catch up with them. I remember I had a teacher when I was up in grade school. And when we would learn new things, his name was Mr. Magical, by the way. He used to say that either we're going to learn it now or we're going to learn it later. But eventually, we're going to learn what's being taught to us. And unfortunately, for some of these kids in some of these school districts, they're going to have to learn it later.
What can we do to buy the people of Harvey, Illinois, and the people from, we got to get the list out, good people of the city of Harvey. Tinley Park, 1/4 of the people of Tinley Park, Oak Forest, Midlothian, Markham, Hazelcrest, Country Club Hills, East Hazelcrest, Thornton, South Highland, Harvey, Phoenix, Posen, Dixmoor, Dalton, Riverdale, Burnham, Calumet City, Lansing, and Linwood, 3/4 of Linwood. Out of number of all those municipalities that's been named.
Yes.
How many that covers, that South Suburban College covers? How many mayors from those list of communities that I just listed endorsed you for this election?
At this point, none. Zero.
You have 0 endorsements from any mayors, not even the mayor from the city of Harvey.
No, sir.
Did not endorse you for this election.
I didn't even reach out for those mayors, any of them, for endorsement.
Do you think that their endorsement is important?
Well, I think that we as voters, we need to think for ourselves. We need to do our own research. We need to look at the ideas that's set forth. So I'm never a proponent for the powers that be to tell you how to vote. Because in our community, as you know, when the powers that be tell you how to vote, you get the exact same thing. And it's not good. But if anybody want to endorse me after you hear my platform, what I stand for, I'm willing to work with anybody. But this is your vote, and you need to make the best decision with your vote. And it doesn't matter who it is tell you what to do. You need to ask why. And I always say follow the money. And we're going to get into that.
And you successfully did make the ballot at the South Suburban College Board, and you did, according to sources close to Harvey, Illinois voters block, you ran into a lot of obstacles just getting on the ballot to get on this election. For some reason, the powers that be wanted to block Abney from being on that board.
And I'm going to tell you why. When you get to it, I'm going to tell you why. Okay. And this is going to be
now. You were challenged for allegations of election fraud. And what we found interesting, you were challenged, it was by a woman from your own community.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
It's kind of comical, but at the same time, it's very sad. Is that sometimes there's a Judas among us, And, people pay to do things like the whole electoral system. Anybody from the district could challenge anybody for anything, regardless if it's right or if it's wrong. And you stand in front of the electoral board and you got to plead your case, or why your papers was correct, why your signatures were correct, how you live in the district. So, I call it funny politics. So a lot of the times, out here in the south suburbs, when somebody know that they're going to have a tough time beating you in the polls, or the type of reform that you want to bring about is going to hurt their pockets, they'll just try to stop your campaign from the beginning by having you up in court with all of these frivolous challenges to try to kick you off the ballot. And, you know, I'm not new to this. When I ran for Mayor Harvey in 2015, I experienced the same thing. You know, when I ran for school board in 2017, I experienced the same thing. And, you know, I'm a man of integrity. I don't, you know, write down names or do anything, you know, illegal as far as election. I knock on the doors, I talk to citizens. And, you know, fortunately, you know, when I was getting my signatures, as, you know, I have did in the last few elections, I actually live in a district. I actually know people. The majority of the people who signed my petition, the phone numbers in my phone, I could actually go to their house, and I'm so familiar with them because I'm part of the community. I could go in their house and, you know, go in the refrigerator, get me a Coke. You know what I'm saying? So I'm part of the community. And a lot of the times when the powers that be, they don't want change to happen, they try to derail change from the beginning. And that's sad, but that's just how politics works in America. And that's why when you campaign, you got to do everything right. And when you do everything right, hopefully, you know, you get on the ballot. And every single time I ran for anything, I always get on the ballot because I do everything right.
Obviously so, because you did make the ballot. And those sources within the Harvey community, they said that they challenged you for illegal circulation. Could you briefly tell the people of the city of Harvey what illegal circulation is, and how can any future candidate avoid even stepping into the realm of illegal circulation, if you can?
Unfortunately, in the political game that we got, there's no way of avoiding it. Anybody could challenge you on anything. So basically, you want to have your petitions and you want to get as many signatures as you can yourself, and have it notarized after all the lines, either 10 or 15, is filled up. Have it notarized, and if somebody else is circulating your petition, make sure that they and they only circulate your petition. You can't just, you know, drop off a petition here and you take it to your job and your cousin gonna take it over here. No. If you're gonna circulate that petition, you circulate it. So, but even doing everything right, people will still challenge you. Okay. So it's just one of those things.
So did you circulate all of your own petitions?
No. I didn't circulate all of my petitions. The petitions that I circulated, that I attest to on the bottom of the petitions, those are the ones that I circulated. The other ones that the other people circulated and they attested to, those are the ones they circulated. Okay.
So this situation, it did come out of the great 6th ward of Harvey, Illinois. This particular Harvey resident who challenged you.
Well, okay.
And
I was actually challenged by a lady. She doesn't live in the 6th ward. No, she lives in the 2nd ward, same ward I live in.
Oh, really?
The lady actually lives at the YMCA.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually, she probably didn't even know what she was signing. Actually, you know, I've spoken to the lady, and I actually seen the lady at my workplace.
Good people of the city of Harvey, Albert Abney has run for mayor of the city of Harvey. He has sat on the school boards. He has run for school board.
I ran for
school board elections. He has served the country. He is a Navy veteran. He works for the state of Illinois. He has all of these huge accolades, but each and every election that he comes to in the city of Harvey, he has opposition. People don't want Albert Abney to be in the lead in the city of Harvey, which Harvey Illinois Voters Bloc, we are here today to introduce you to Albert Abney and ask him a few more questions that you may be the judge and see why he is being blocked so hardly from entering into politics in the Southland, not only in Harvey, Illinois, but also on the list of other communities that you have seen. That brings us to our next question, Mr. Abney. Why are the powers that be fighting so hard to stop Albert Abney from entering into politics here in Harvey, Illinois, and across the Southland?
Well, first, I always tell people to follow the money. Follow the money. Where smoke is fire. If you look at the connections, politically connections with these people who hold whatever office, I'm not necessarily talking about Harvey, but I am talking about Harvey. And you're gonna find out that people work for somebody on this board, right? But then they serve over here. So you just gotta be careful. I'm not an outsider to the community. I'm not even an outsider to politics, but Albert Abney can't be bought or sold. I don't work for anybody on, none of these elected officials. I got my own money, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not necessarily have to worry about if I vote the wrong way at the city council meeting on Tuesday, will I lose my job on Wednesday? I don't have to worry about that, because I'm not into all of that. So if you want to really look at it and really, really, really look at it, you're going to find out that some of these politicians in these various communities, they family members work for the government in other instances, right? So, I'm not saying it's pay and play or load and go or anything like that, but some of these people are so interconnected, right, that they lose their connection with the voter. You know what I'm saying? So some of these politicians are not connected with the voter because they're too connected with other politicians because of different favors that they did for each other. I hire you, you hire me. Oh, you know what? I'm going to vote for this way. If I don't vote for this way, I'm going to fire your sons, fire your daughter, whatever. Now, those are all things that happen that's unsaid, is unwritten down. But if you know politics, as I know that you know it, you know what I'm saying? Things like that happen. So when somebody that, I'm not bringing baggages, I'm not connected, and like, wait, where's the way to control Albert Abney's vote? Where's the way to silence what he's talking about? Where is it a way? And they can't do it at my workplace. You know what I'm saying? And they I own my own home, in our community. You can't offer me money. I'm not rich, but you can't offer me money. I got a retirement. I work for the state of Illinois. I can't be bought. I can't be sold. And to some people of the powers that be, that's dangerous. Because I'm going to be for the will of the people, and I'm going to do what's right because it's right. And that's why I'm running for South Suburban College, and I'm going to tell you and Harvey Voters Bloc and everybody that's watching right now, I'm going to tell you something that's groundbreaking, and I'm going to explain to you the college scam that's going on right now. And this is big, and it's more than about 5'10". I'm trying to change the face of education, not only in the South suburbs. I'm trying to change it nationally. I always say, Chris, when we talk, it's more than just about you and me. It's the big picture. And I could get into it now, or we could continue with the questions. But this, I got something to say. That's
hopefully we have that covered. I got a few more questions. A couple more questions, and hopefully we can be able to get you there. Let me know if we do get there. Other than that, I have two more questions for you. The people of the city of Harvey want to know, what is the biggest issue facing college education?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that question, Chris. The biggest issue that's facing college education, not only in the South suburbs, but in every college, is the remedial college education. It's the remedial scam. I call it a scam. Right now, when I'm saying remedial education, let me digress. Let's go back. So, we're kids, we go to whatever kindergarten we want to go to that's in our district, and we end up going to kindergarten, first grade, so have you, graduated from Graduate from 8th grade. We end up going to high school. You know, I went to Thornton 205. You know, shout out. And here we are. We're about 17, 18. You know what I'm saying? We're about to cross the cusp to become adults, functioning adults. Get married, have kids, own a house. You know, the whole American dream. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we know that the American dream begins and ends with education. Because, you know, either you're going to start your own business or you're going to work for somebody or what have you. But education, you gotta know something to be able to offer a good, a service, or a product. So a lot of us, right, we enroll in college. And the first thing that happens when you go to enroll in college, they have you take an admission exam. All right? You take this admission exam. It basically it measures your English comprehension, your reading scores, you know, your reading comprehension, your writing, spelling, grammar, verb usage, and then it measures your mathematical ability. Okay? So this is what I'm talking about right now. In remedial education, let's say I go to South Suburban College right now and I take a entrance exam. Okay, they're gonna score me in English and in mathematics. Now, if I didn't get the education that my parents paid for, because when we talk about education, K through 12, your tax dollars is paying for that education. And the purpose of that education is to get you college ready when you graduate. Unfortunately, a lot of our kids that's coming out of our district, 205, they're not ready for college on day one. Because I'm not saying they had a subpar college education. I'm saying that the bar was missed K through 8. You know, the bar was missed K through 8 for whatever reason. It could be social, economic. It could be poverty. It could be you had a bad teacher. It could be, but you didn't have a bad teacher all 8 years. You know what I'm saying? It could be a lot of reasons why you didn't get the education that you needed. So you take the entrance exam, and a lot of college students, this is about to resonate heavy and hard with them. They take the entrance exam, and what they find out is that they got subpar English skills, that they got subpar math skills, right? And they have to take remedial courses, right, to end up to taking a college level course. So at South Suburban College, I believe, I don't know the exact numbers of them, I got it written down here somewhere, but you could test in English and you could be like at an English 75, right? So you test in and you at English 75, okay, you got to go for a semester English 75. Then after that, we got to do 85. Then after that, we got to do 95. Then we could take English 101. All right, let's say math. Now math is even worse. So you could come in, now these course numbers, I'm just saying off the top of my head, those are not the actual course numbers, but when y'all do y'all research, I want you to do your research and look at it. So we could score in math. We could take math 60, then math 70, then math 80, then math 90, then you at a 100 level math course. Now, all while that's going on, your tax dollars are paying for this remedial education. Right? This is education that you already paid for, K through 12. So it's funny. People ask me, you know, when just having political conversations, hey, Albert, how did Trump get elected? What I ask them is, how are you paying for the same thing twice? So we already paid for the K through 12 education. So for whatever reason, we're not college level on day one, and we got to repay for this education that we already paid for. So that's why 4 out of 10 college students, right, end up in remedial classes, right? And if you want to collectively, all the colleges in the United States, that's $7 billion is spent on remedial education from this English and this math. $7 billion. Now let me explain to you what that means. What that means is that you're paying for courses that you should have learned K through 12. So you paying for the same thing twice. But how you paying for that? A lot of them, as we talked about, you get the Pell Grant, you get scholarships, or student loans. So it's a lot of students, right, across America who end up excited to go to college because they want to go to college because they know college is going to better their life, and they end up spending the first 2 years of them going to college not being able to take college level courses and wasting the Pell Grant, wasting their financial aid, getting in student loan debt. Like, nobody really asked the question, why does it take students 4 years to get a 2-year degree? They end up in what we call the Remedial College Education Trap. They end up trapped. They end up going to school, spending their hard-earned money or their grant money or whatever on these remedial courses that they already paid tax dollars for. You know what I'm saying? And let's take this a step further. So let's say I want to take a communication class, right? Or I want to take a writing class. These classes got prerequisites, right? So before I could take any courses in my degree field, most of these classes that we take, before you even could take the class, you got to have a prerequisite. You got to be at a English 101 level, right? Or you got to be at the Math 100 level just to enroll in the course. So what I'm for is, now this is groundbreaking. What I want to do is, I want free remedial courses for students that's in our district. So for whatever reason, you didn't get the education that you rightly paid for K through 12, you shouldn't be charged for it again. So what that's going to do is, that's going to open a floodgate with people trying to return to school, trying to get their education. Because a lot of them don't, because they know they're behind in English and math, And if anybody went to college, I know a lot of people in the city of Harvey have, and they got children, and they're stuck in this remedial. They're stuck in these remedial courses. And I'm not saying they shouldn't take the courses, because they need the courses. But they waste their Pell Grant, they waste their financial aid, they waste student loans, and then they end up coming out of school with a massive amount of debt. And as I said, 4 out of every college student in America end up stuck in the middle. They just end up stuck. So a lot of times, kids that come from 205, that come from where I went, my high school, Thornton, they enroll at South Suburban College, and they're excited for school, right? They go to school a whole year, right? They get their transcript, and they find out that the 2 or the 3 of the classes that they were taking don't even count for graduation. And yet their money was spent on it. And then they just give up hope, because they look at it. They become an adult. They're like, look, I don't want to end up in a massive amount of debt, from trying to get an education. So what I want to do is, I'm for free remedial education for students that come from the district of 510. And I'm also for a nominal fee for students that take those same courses, a nominal fee for those students who come in out of district. Now, this is going to change the whole landscape of education. And I got 7 billion reasons why the power I be don't want me to get elected, because that's going to hurt the pockets. Gotcha. Now, some people will say that we can't afford to pay for this. I say we can't afford not to. So is a hope, the American dream, to get a good education. Let's really make that happen. So for whatever gone wrong when you was a kid, whatever gone wrong, the reason why you didn't get that education that you rightfully deserve, that you should get as a citizen of this great republic, that you didn't get, we shouldn't take away your opportunities in this remediation. Those remedial courses should be free. And when you get a good passing grade to see it better, you should move on, just as they got on the books right now, to take a regular level course. So I'm not saying we need to put kids or adults in classes that mentally that they can't comprehend. I'm saying they need remediation, but we shouldn't charge them for it, because they already paid. And if we get this going, it's going to change the landscape. We're going to have more and more and more people enroll in school, because people want an education. And any blocks that exist, it is up to electing the right people to get those things removed. So, my name's Albert Abney, and I want everybody to have the opportunity to get educated. And, you do the research. You probably, that's watching, know somebody somewhere that ended up in this remedial trap. That was excited to go to school, and they was taking remedial English for a year, and then, a year, and they end up paying for it. They end up paying for it because they run out of financial aid. So we shouldn't run out of financial aid at a 2-year college. We shouldn't do that. It shouldn't take you 4 years to get a 2-year degree. You shouldn't be paying 4 years to get a 2-year degree. So if you need remedial education, those remedial classes, if you come from the district, should be free.
Interesting. Good people of the city of Harvey, I'm going to let that sizzle in your spirit. We got one last final question for Albert Abney, and we're going to close this out. Everything that he's saying, good people of the city of Harvey, I want you to pay attention. If you have to rewind and go back to these answers when making your decision, will you support Albert Abney and District 510 South Suburban School Board as a trustee? If you have anything he said here today that you agree with, then you should vote for him during this election. If you are a veteran, please remember that he is also a veteran. If you're an Illinois worker for the employee for the Illinois state of Illinois, then you should support Albert Abney. So therefore, we are going with our final question. What do you think, Mr. Abney, is the purpose of community college? What is the purpose of community college? What is that purpose?
Well, first, Amir should be teaching the class at South Suburban.
Studio, the director, Studio 155 here in Harvey Illinois.
But why that's not happening? Okay, so the purpose of the community college, is to educate the community. But when I say educate the community, I'm not talking about if you live in a community, you want to go to college, you want to have the ability to write a paper. That's not what I'm talking about. Or the ability to do fantastic mathematical equations. That's not what I'm talking about. The college should be a place of learning. Example, your grandmother know how to do basket weaving. She should have the ability to go up to South Suburban College and register and get a classroom so she could teach people how to basket weave. So if your church want to put on a play, right? Your church should be able to call South Suburban College and check the ability of the theater. And they should be able to do their theatrical production at South Suburban College. That's what your tax money is for. So, yes, the college is to get kids ready and an education so that they can learn a trade, or they could be employed, or they could get their general education things done and move on to a 4-year university. Yeah, all those things should happen. That's the purpose of South Suburban College as you know it. But the South Suburban College that I see is a place. I remember I was stationed in Virginia, right? I was stationed at the Naval Weapons Station, Yorktown, and up in Virginia, it was a community college that wasn't too far away from my house, and they had something called midnight basketball, right? So midnight basketball was you could pay $1 and go up in there and you could play basketball, and it was from midnight all the way to 7 a.m. Why that's not happening at South Suburban College? Why the facilities are not being used by the people in the district? So we need to use the facilities, and you shouldn't have to know somebody that's in politics to fill out your facilities usage form to get access to the university. Your tax dollars already did that. So I want to open the floodgate. If you want to use a classroom for something, or you want to use the theater, or you want to use the field, or you want to use whatever your tax dollars paid that the university got, you should be able to use it to educate the community. So example, we sitting here having this conversation, about me running for 510, South Suburban College, right? They should have a mayoral debate for all the communities, and it should be hosted at the college. You know, for the school boards, for everything, because that's the purpose of the college, for people to come in and to learn something. Not necessarily learn something for a job, or learn something for credit hours, or learn something to make the money. The purpose of the community college is to educate the community. Now, education is a general term, you know what I'm saying? So education is far and vast what we could educate, you know, ourselves on. Like, as you said, I'm a football coach for the Harvey Coast. I sit on the Harvey Coast organization on the board, and I talk to a lot of kids, man. I'm motivating these kids. You know, a few weeks ago, you know, we had a season this year, and we was going to Indiana, you know, to play because Illinois was shut down or whatever. And I'm motivating the kids like, hey, you got to wake up on time. You got to get online. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to need your grades. Because I know for your school, I know when the grades come out. And I'm going to ask you for your grades. And if you ain't got your grades, I don't care how good you are. Guess what? You ain't playing. And that motivated the kids. Like, you know what, man? Mr. Abney, you got to ask my mom for these grades. And I enjoy playing football. So I know kids right now who are going to school not to get an education. They was going to school because they love playing football, and they know if they didn't get good grades that they was going to get kicked off of their activities. We need the same thing at South Suburban College. It's no reason why we don't have a football team. You know, because it is 2-year colleges that have football teams that play football. And you know as well as I know how many young men that look just like me and you.
So South Suburban College Bulldogs is no longer.
No. The South Suburban College do have the Bulldogs for basketball, yeah, but they don't have a football team.
They used to have football.
Team.
Yeah, I was unaware that they did not have one. Okay, go ahead.
So what I'm talking about doing is, some people call it like you listen to good music. I know you love good music.
Absolutely.
And when you listen to good music, you always hear the hook. You may not remember the song, you know, the name of the song, or you may not remember the lyrics exactly, but you always remember the hook. And for whatever reason, a lot of the times for people to get motivated to do things for yourself that's going to help you, you need a hook. So I want to get a hook for South Suburban College. So whatever these kids are interested in, rapping, singing, dancing, you know what I'm saying? We need gymnastics. We need, you know, maybe because it's a Navy, I'm a Navy man, but I want to get an Olympic pool. You know what I'm saying? So teach our kids how to swim. We could have competitions for swimming. It's so much you could do. But South Suburban College needs to be doing things to get people in the building. They need to get people there. You know what I'm saying? And when we create this environment where we have our young people at a very young age being attracted to going to school, to going to college, you know what I'm saying? It's positive. I remember when I was a kid, I had went to Kitty College, right? I went to Kitty College at Governor State University. My mother was taking courses at Governor State, but they had Kitty College. Kitty College was if you was from kindergarten to 8th grade, right? And whatever, this was all extracurricular. You could just learn about it. So while my mama was in class, I went to Kitty College, and that was my first time going to college. And when that was my hook. I said, man, I'm going to college. So we need to create the environment in which people want to learn. So I'm saying if we start a football team, what I'm telling you, we're going to have about 85 more young men of color enroll in school, because you know what? They want to play football. And I guarantee you, they're gonna get good grades because they want to maintain eligibility because they want to play football. And what's gonna happen? They're gonna end up playing football for 2 years, and they might just get a degree. They might just get a degree, and that might just be one less cell that they're going to have to build to lock us up. You know what I'm saying? That might just be one less homeless person. That might just be one less criminal. That might just be one less plot in the graveyard. So the purpose of education actually is to educate, you know? And we need to educate our community where we're at, you know? And we need to have an environment in which, you know, the regular ordinary person, if they want to teach something, they want to do something, they should be able to register for a classroom, and people should go up there and do it, and they should be able to do it. You know, it's no reason why we don't have a theatrical production going on every weekend at Suburban College. There's no reason, because we got so much talent in our own community, let alone the 19 other communities that's in the district. You know, but unfortunately, because of the power that be, this access that I'm talking about for the community to have, that they're paying their own money, their own tax dollars, unless we got somebody that you people elect with that vision, it's never gonna happen. You're gonna have the same thing that you've been having. Now, if you happy with it, keep on going. But I'm telling you, I'm not. And I believe that the majority of the people who live in this district, they're not happy. They're not happy paying for this remedial education that they already paid for. They're not happy, even if they do end up graduating from South Suburban College, all the debt that they now carry because they exhausted their student, their Pell Grant. They had exhausted their other educational resources and had to get student loans because they end up spending the semester or 2 or 3 semesters or even 2 years, you know, because they were stuck in this remedial education trap. So, you know, I'm trying to open people's eyes to look at the big picture of things. Now, the powers that be, you know, they don't like me, you know, but that's fine. I'm happy. The people who don't like me politically, I'm happy with it, you know, and the reason I'm happy with it because they're not doing what they're supposed to do for the people, you know. So I'm the people's candidate, and you know, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth or anything. I'm not politically connected. I can't call all of these people to get doors open and things like that. Not yet. But I'm going to be able, but if I get up there in 5'10", everybody going to have my number. My number's not going to change. And for the things that I want to do, as far as returning, the biggest thing I want you to remember is I'm trying to return our community college back to our community and get our community college out of the hands of the powers that be that want to control everything. And we could do it if we work together. And I'm telling, early voting starts on March 22nd, I believe, and election day is April the 6th. And if you want to see something different, you're gonna have to do something different. If you keep voting for these same people, thinking that all of a sudden everything's gonna change, it's not. All right? And if we want our children, my sons, my daughters, your sons, your daughters, you know, your neighbors, your brothers and sisters, your husband or your wife, to have an opportunity to really have a real stake and a real legitimate piece of the American dream, it begins with a solid education. And not only education at 5'10", we talk about education on the board level, we talk about K through 8 education. Education is so important, and we got to make sure in all the communities that we vote for people who really got our children's best interests at heart, you know. And that's why I support Keith Price. That's why I support Dr. Keisha McCaskill. That's why I support Felicia Johnson. You know, that's why I support Chappelle Hooks, because they really have our children's best interests at heart. You know, that's why up in the, you know, we're talking Harvey now, but that's why, you know, you going to school is one thing. You know, we go to school, we get our education, and you know, even after school is over, we're gonna have to do research, and we want a place where we could go to and we could also learn. And that's why I support Anthony McCaskill, you know, running for the 6-year Harvey Public Library. That's why I support Shawana Morgan, for Harvey Public Library. That's why I support Craig Abram for Harvey Public Library. Those 3 are running for the 6-year seat. That's why I support Monique Williams running for the 4-year seat. The people that I align myself with actually care. The people that I align myself with, they actually live in the city of Harvey or in our district. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm telling everybody, no, don't only vote for me, vote for Max Solomon, because he shares my vision. And if you just get me in there, it's other people, it's a board. So me and Max, we can change things. But it might take a couple of years, but we will, I guarantee you, change things. And it's not going to be for the betterment of us, because it's an unpaid position. It's going to be the betterment of you and of all the taxpayers in our district. So I'm just a regular kid from Harvey, man. I'm just a regular kid from Harvey, born and raised. You know, I deployed, went to war, came back, got my education. I got 3 degrees, and I'm just a homeowner. You know what I'm saying? Go to church. I work for the state of Illinois Department of Human Resources, and anybody that had any connection with me from my job, they'll tell you that I will do whatever it takes to get you exactly what you deserve because you paid your tax dollars for it. And I want my community to be a better place. And that starts here with these conversations, but it starts with you. Everybody got to get out there and vote, even if you don't vote for me. Voting in massive numbers is powerful. And I want our college, I'm just trying to return our college back to the community. It's so many things I want to do. Like I want a pool, I want an Olympic pool, but I want a community pool. You ain't got to be in roller school. You just got to live in the district. Go there and swim. Go there a workout facility for our seniors. Or even for our student athletes that's going to school in other districts. And it's so many things that I want to do. But the biggest thing that I want you to remember is 7 billion reasons why they didn't want me on the ballot. It's 7 billion reasons why they want to keep my platform and what I'm trying to do quiet. And that's because these systems that be the way it is now, they make too much money on not educating us. K through 12, by them not giving our kids a quality education, they gonna make money from us at the community college or at the 4-year college level. And then flip that, if that don't work out, they're going to make money from us from the jail system. I'm not saying it's a big conspiracy, but what I'm telling you is everything's connected. And we need to get out of this remedial trap. Remedial education for District 510 needs to be free. Needs to be free for the people in the district. They're gonna, and if that happens, when they come out of college, they're gonna have less debt. Now, as far as I know about college debt, it's gonna be less debt. We're gonna have more people enroll, all right? And it's gonna be positive across the board. And I can talk for hours. I know, that, again, Chris Moore, Harvey Voters Bloc, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to talk to me, to find out about my platform, find out about me. And again, shout out to Studio 155, Amir. This is one of the hidden gems in Harvey. And before I close, I just like to thank everybody. Shout out to all my frat brothers, Aldo Phi Theta, and all the Navy veterans out there, and all veterans everywhere. And we can change this community, and it could be a better place for all of us, but we got to work together, and we have to find politicians. We got to find individuals to get into politics who are not connected, who not being paid, or their family members not being paid or connected to so-and-so because of this job. Because when all of those things happen, you end up getting somebody elected and they can't serve the people. They can't serve the people. And I know I talked about a lot, and I could probably keep talking for hours, but they're gonna run out of tape, even though this is digital. But Again, any other questions of me, Mr. Chris Moore?
That's going to conclude our questions for today. Good people of the city of Harvey, we have our conversation here with Albert Abney has come to a close. Everything that he says today, I want you to let sizzle in your spirit. You be the judge here in the city of Harvey. He's asking you to elect him and vote for him April 6th. For the District 510 South Suburban College Board as a trustee. This is an unpaid position. I want you to review this video a few times if that's what you must do to come to your decision. But most importantly, vote April 6th. If you came here today and something didn't sit right with you with Mr. Abney said, make sure that you get to the polls April 6th to vote against Mr. Abney.
Absolutely.
So we want you to be at the polls, everything, as you always be the judge. I'm Chris Moore, Harvey Illinois Voters Bloc. We're here with Albert Abney, candidate for District 510 South Suburban College School Board as a trustee. April 6th, as he has given you his endorsement of School District 152, so you can review that endorsement coming from Albert Abney. I'm Chris Moore, Harvey Illinois Voters Bloc.
Thank you, Chris.